For over 600 years, one empire stood at the center of the Muslim world, not just powerful, but respected, not just feared, but followed. From the deserts of Arabia to the gates of Europe, its influence shaped history itself. But what made this empire the true leader of the Muslim world? Was it power, faith, or something far greater? This is the story of the Ottoman Empire. It all began with a small tribe in Anatolia, led by a man named Osman I. At a time when the Muslim world was divided and weakened after the fall of earlier great powers, Osman built something new, not just a state, but a vision. His successors expanded this vision, slowly turning a small frontier principality into a rising empire. They fought not only for land, but for purpose, and that purpose would soon change history forever. In 1453, a moment came that would redefine the Muslim world. A young sultan named Mehmed II set his eyes on a city thought to be impossible to conquer, Constantinople. For centuries, it had stood as the heart of the Byzantine Empire, strong walls, strategic position, unbreakable. But Mehmed had a different plan. With advanced cannons, brilliant strategy, and unshakable determination, he did the impossible. Constantinople fell. The city was transformed into Istanbul, and with it, the Ottomans didn't just gain land, they gained legitimacy. They were no longer just another empire. They were now a global power and a symbol of Islamic strength. But true leadership of the Muslim world came later. In 1517, under the rule of Suleiman I, the Ottomans defeated the Mamluk Sultanate and took control of Mecca and Medina, the holiest cities in Islam. With this victory came something far more important than territory: the title of Caliph. The Ottoman sultans were now seen as the leaders of the entire Muslim Ummah, not just rulers of an empire. They became the protectors of Islam, guardians of its holy lands, and a unifying force for Muslims across continents. But leadership is not just about conquest. It is about how you rule. The Ottomans built a system unlike any other. They allowed different religions to coexist through the millet system, giving Christians and Jews the freedom to practice their beliefs under Ottoman protection. This created stability, loyalty, and respect. At a time when much of the world was divided by religious conflict, the Ottoman Empire stood as a model of balance and governance. Their strength was not only political, it was military. The Ottoman army was one of the most advanced in the world. At its core were the Janissaries, elite soldiers trained from a young age, disciplined and loyal only to the Sultan. Their organization, strategy, and use of gunpowder weapons made them nearly unstoppable. From Eastern Europe to North Africa, the Ottoman military ensured the empire remained dominant for centuries. But beyond power and war, the Ottomans became a center of culture, knowledge, and art. Their architecture still stands today, from grand mosques to breathtaking palaces. Under rulers like Suleiman the Magnificent, the empire reached its golden age. Laws were reformed, art flourished, trade expanded across continents. Istanbul became one of the greatest cities in the world, a bridge between East and West, Islam and Europe, tradition and progress. So why were the Ottomans the leaders of the Muslim world? Because they had something others did not. They combined power with faith, strength with justice, expansion with unity. They controlled the holy cities. They held the title of Caliph. They protected and represented Muslims across vast lands. For centuries, when the Muslim world needed direction, it looked to the Ottomans. But no empire lasts forever. Over time, internal struggles, economic challenges, and rising European powers began to weaken the empire. Slowly, the giant that once led the Muslim world began to decline, until finally, after World War I, the Ottoman Empire came to an end. And with it, the Caliphate was abolished, leaving behind a question that still echoes today. What happens when a unifying force disappears? The Ottoman Empire is gone, but its legacy remains. In history, in culture, in the identity of the Muslim world itself. It was more than just an empire. It was a symbol of unity, power, and leadership, and for over 6 centuries, it stood as the heart of the Muslim world. What do you think about it? Let us know in the comments, and for more documentaries like these, subscribe to our channel. Thank you.